Are back, and it's time to take a look at Wangid's deck lists.
Yeah, let's have a look. Everything is working. Our overlays are back. I'm really happy that we got this interview with Trisky, of course. And thanks for bearing with us, chat. Now we have everything.
Always good to get to know the players that we're going to be seeing in the tournaments later on. Maybe they're going to be a fan favorite. So we got Reckless Flurry, Imprisonment, Jackpot, and Inspired Zeal. Starting out here, we've got the Flurry deck that 3 of the 4 players in the top 4 had some variant of. Wangid here having a similar variant to the one that we saw previously, playing Portal for Bear Witcher Adepts. Got the double Megascope, got the Bear Witchers, got the Great Swords. Pretty nice package to make sure that those Megascopes are never dead. Heron Kuduk also providing a Bear Witcher to give more Megascope reliability. Yeah, anything you want to say about this list?
Yep, pretty much what we saw earlier as well. This version of Reckless Flurry is definitely, a bit, it really comes down to what you want to play. You don't have to play the discard package if you go for this one. We could see it really working out for Trisky in the previous game, so it's a solid choice from Wangid to be bringing. I think this weekend, this particular list seems to be very popular over the other version, but solid breadcoin list. I think another thing to mention is maybe this Mask of Ouroboros. I think it's really cool. We see that typically you see it with discard package, but the nice thing about this stratagem is the fact that it does play for 4 points tempo, but technically a little bit more just because of the carryover. You will be discarding a 4 provision card, so really getting kind of a added 1.5 points, 2 points there from your discard for later rounds by discarding a 4 provision card is really nice and really showing the power of Mask of Ouroboros when you're running it even without the discard package. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Alright, moving on to the Imprisonment list. Of course, this is a quite a standard list for Nilfgaard. However, like we said, with Spiro's deck, we saw the Cantarella Gorthor combination. Wangid, on the other hand, is running Artorias, Vigo, and Fergus. Now, Artorias Vigo isn't very reliable in this particular list just because of the amount of bronzes you have. But unless it low rolls, you will probably find something useful with your pick. With Artorias, making it a really good card, plus the added Assimilate tag. So that one is really nice to have. And Fergus, of course, solid 7 provision card. As an aristocrat, it's nice to have an extra one. And of course, in situations where you get bled, you have to play your ball. You can go ahead and play the Fergus for really a lot of reach. He does, I believe, is kind of the best aristocrat to play in that type of situation for just added consistency. Added power. So that's really nice to see from having Fergus here. Other than that, pretty standard with the usual suspects. Vincent, of course, Joachim, and the Coup. Important cards to find. Bronze score with the Blightmakers. Very powerful cards. You don't want to skip out on those. That's what we got here.
Yeah, but just to touch on this Vigo, there are a lot of bronzes in this Vigo deck. We got Seditious Aristocrats, Blightmaker, Duchess Informant, Fangs of the Empire, Nausicaa Sergeant, Van Morlem Hunter, Mage Assassin, and Emissary. So we got 8 bronzes in this pool. Unlike a lot of other decks that played Vigo in the past, not even trying to play any kinds of specials in the bronzes, no tourney jousts or anything to try to make the pool a bit smaller, just accepting the variants. A lot of good hits too. Duchess Informant's a good hit, Emissary is a good hit. Fangs in the Empire can be a reasonable hit if you have extra poisons. And Seditious Aristocrats over Thirsty Dame in this context makes a lot of sense as well as being sometimes just the best thing that you get off your Vigo. Much better to play an Aristocrats when there's some spies in play than a Thirsty Dame. Moving on to this Jackpot list. I'm not seeing anything too crazy here. Double Passiflora Peaches, double Tax Collector, only a single Sea Jackal, I guess, would be the main thing that stands out to me. Just the 4 provision, bronze distribution. Playing Kurt, playing Freak Show, playing the Poison Brothers. He's got Caesar, Siggy. Other than that, pretty much just what you expect to see out of Jackpot.
Yep, and we can come in with the bans here as well. I believe both syndicates have been banned. No surprise here. That has been a common theme. So no syndicate today that we'll be seeing here on the stream. But we can move on to the Inspired Zeal list because that one will be played. this one's interesting. So Spyro played a very similar list. I believe Wangid was playing this earlier in the tournament, and is definitely sticking to this list. Plays in the same mid-rangey way. A couple of cards though in Wangid's list are different. Let's look at the 4 provision Centurion Envoy. We talked about consistency earlier with Trident, and we kind of came to the conclusion that if you don't draw your goals, you might be in a little bit of trouble. Centurion Envoy is a really nice bronze to make sure that you probably will see a gold card to put at the top of your deck. Of course, you have to be careful if you're playing as Nilfgaard and maybe Alchemist, things like that. But other than that, a really, really solid option. And the 6 power provision slot, I would like to bring up here Kudkudak instead of Margarita. Definitely going for countering Nilfgaard. That's quite a nice thing to do. All right. Yeah.
How can I help?
Yep. That's great. Okay. Something wrong with the audio. I wonder. Chat might be something.
I was muted. Whoops.
All right. Okay. I think we're back then. Okay.
It happens. It happens to the best of us, chat. Anyway.
It definitely happens. It's all good. We made it through the deck list. We showed them to you on the stream there. Of course, you got to see those, and now of course Spyro's deck list we had a look at, so we know what he's playing too. Wangid here on blue coin. It's quite interesting to see this blue coin queue from Wangid, but we did mention this earlier as well when we went through the list, is that Wangid's flurry list that he's bringing here is definitely a little bit nicer on blue coin actually, rather than potentially the discard package, because you can play these bronzes a little bit further into the round rather than having to commit your discard package when you don't want to do it.
Yeah, so Wangid choosing to lead on the portal, Spyro leading on his Indrega Larva, using a bomb to take care of one of those before it gets to thrive any bigger. Back over to Spyro. Now, all this removal is going to make getting Sabbath a lot harder than it normally would be. If you try to commit to anything tall, potentially a leader into Junod could kill, like, the She Who Knows. Leader charges in particular, really good against Ratcatcherists. Oh, we're just gonna see a leader charge come out now to kill the second larva.
Yeah, Wangid's definitely saying that it's worth it getting this control, really making it awkward again, just like trying to mention with the Sabbath. So that's definitely a strategy worth taking here for Wangid, really saying he values getting rid of that larva. I mean, it's a 6 provision card that does end up playing for quite a lot the longer the round goes on.
Indeed, indeed. The leader charge being important throughout the whole game, but the larva, Wangid just deciding round control is worth using one of those early. As Spyro plays the Maxi to fix his draws, and we see the TA clicked to pick up the Karathi Heatwave, potentially giving him another answer to something scary in round 1. Maybe won't need to commit leader charge Junod to kill the She Who Knows.
Yeah. Taking it with the Heatwave would be quite nice. Of course, you also want to have enough control for the Koshis later on, and Wangid does have a couple of tools in his deck that he can do that with. 1 second.
The megascoping begins as he takes only a 7-point megascope, not being quite as aggressive trying to hold on to these as the previous match where we saw Trotsky holding on to them to try to copy Bear Witchers. Wangid deciding just getting the 7 points now, trying to hold on to some of his golds a little bit better, and Wangid takes the pass. 13-30. Spyro can't do this in 1.
Nope, and he certainly cannot get the Sabbath either, so this is quite nice. You can't just drop a She Who Knows and gotta keep that for carryover immediately. Tempo passing is what Wangid opts to do here. And, yeah, no consumes in Spyro's hand there. He is not able to consume the Archaspores here for extra thinning. It is, you can't get those Witch Apprentices to tick either. and you don't have a relic pocket yet. So we'll see how Spyro, like, in the most efficient way, takes it here.
Yeah, wonder if Spyro's plan would be to push down 2 here, or if he's just gonna go to a long round. If he's pushing down 2, he will have the She Who Knows points as well.
The She Who Knows does come down, enabling the Sabbath and making it a little bit nicer to actually go for the push, even if you have to play 2 cards. But it seems like we are going to aim for the long round.
Holding on to the She Who Knows. Oh, wait. Yeah, wait.
Yeah,
Sure.
long round it is for Spyro. Of course, what can happen is you can break your rows when you're Koshi, but I think what Spyro was saying is that maybe Wangid will remove enough stuff that there will be space for Spyro. We'll see.
There is a lot of removal in this deck for Wangid. There is a Gird, which does put a unit in play, which might end up making things a little awkward. Not because of the dealing damage to a row, but just potentially clogging a row for Koshchei could end up being important.
That's an interesting strategy. Another thing that Spyro really has to do is find the Koshi and the Karanthier. If you do not find those, that's a lot of these. I mean, the deck really revolves around those 2 cards in that combo, so we'll see.
Yeah. I've certainly seen games where even when you have the Karanthier Koshchei combo in a long enough round, you don't really want to use the Karanthier on Koshchei because there's just no way to not overswarm. But
yeah,
definitely great to at least have the option available, as he's still missing that Koshchei after those mulligans.
And here we can see the deck that Spyro still has there. And here is Wangid. Wangid has pretty much drawn a lot of this stuff, so now he can kind of efficiently just set up a graveyard with this great sword. Now Hjalmar has all the reach.
Indeed. It is 1 fewer greatsword for Megascope, but I'm not even sure we're gonna see Megascope kept in hand for round 3 here.
Yeah, maybe we do see a mulligan on that. 4 mulligans for Wangid to take here. And let's look at what Spyro's finding.
Gonna see all but 2 cards in his deck here. Not sure if there's another Bear Witcher or he needs to kick this for the Quen. Spyro still missing that Koshchei.
Koshchei is nowhere to be seen, but maybe that is something he didn't want to see. I think he wanted to see it, but maybe it's not the worst, just because, like Trinet said, maybe row cap and don't even want to play them in a long round. We'll see.
Yeah, like, you only have 1 leader to trigger, so like the Koshchei that you play from hand, assuming you use your leader on the 1-off of Karanthier, is probably just going to get traded even with by some kind of like Heat Wave or leader charge into Janad.
And now the nice proactive play for Skellige here is the Totem. It's really nice being able to open up with this while your deck otherwise is so reactive. The Totem is really great opening play for Wangid.
Oh, yeah. And we see a Guara come down here to lock one of them. Now, the Quen will be able to be put on the other side of that Totem to still get that click later on, but
yes,
it does prevent the click from happening early. As we go back over to Wangid.
Let's see what Wangid decides to do here. He has a couple of Adrenaline that needs to be activated, as well as the Dancing Star, I believe, not really having any targets here. The Megascope you don't really want to play on a 4-point.
Yeah, it's a 6. You could put it next to the Totem. Megascope does spawn to the right.
Alright. There we go. Instead, we go for the proactive hand could do with the Quartermaster, of course, pinging this. And now the Megascope becomes a little bit better for Wangid next turn.
Yeah, this just seems a little bit more reasonable as we see Spyro get down the Indrega Larva. Interesting that he valued taking the lock more than...
I was going to say, the good thing about that is the leader charges are not guaranteed to hit the larva. So if you open with the larva, they are gone. So this way, Spyro can protect those larvae and saying these are really valuable in a round where you don't have Koshis, but you have a lot of Thrive.
Yeah, for sure. That makes a lot of sense. And we do see Wangid use at least both of his leader charges, and does take out only one of the larvas. But Dancing Star able to clean up the other one pretty efficiently.
Yeah. So Spyro with this play was able to save one larva, but Wangid had another answer. And now we're on to Spyro's side again.
Yep. Don't really want to play the... I guess there's no leader charges left. The Ratcatcher isn't that bad? Not sure what's still remaining as far as threats goes. But at
I
least
guess it
looking
would
at the
get a
hands.
little bit of extra value from the Gerd.
Yeah, Gerd.
And maybe if the Madoff would still go front row and ping, then if you don't have Sabbath, that can be really good value on the Ratcatchers, just like you said.
Yeah. But I guess like there's no reason to not get the She Who Knows down first. It's not like the Sabbath on that matters. There's no round 4.
The reason to get the She Who Knows after is, of course, because Ratcatchers boosts herself every time you play a relic, and we can see Spyro's hand is mainly filled with relics, so that Ratcatchers, if she lives, is going to get a solid amount of points. I do believe we're going to see that come down from Spyro pretty soon.
Yeah, probably. Also wants to get on Sabbath as quickly as possible, just to get this Witch's Apprentice to grow a little bit. But gonna be hard with all the removal available in Wangid's hand.
Oh yeah. There is a lot of removal, and I think it's so interesting that we're seeing a typically red coin deck doing its work on blue coin, really maybe anticipating the Koshi matchup from red.
Yeah, just knowing that he'd be able to get the tempo pass. The Kostya deck, really scary in a long round 1 where its engines are able to get value, but if you just tempo pass them and they don't get Sabbath online, their Witch's Apprentices aren't playing for great points. They don't have time to make a relic packet for Game Cane.
Yeah, they have to go to that long round where, 1, you have the issue of maybe not draw your cards, 2, you have the issue of maybe road wrecking, which is kind of the issue that Spyro is facing right now.
Yep. I wonder if this Megascope was on Quartermaster or if it was on the Bear Abomination.
I think it might be on the Quartermaster, perhaps.
Probably.
I don't think you're risking... you're not risking breaking your rows. You have some armor going on there, and you could hit the... I guess you're not hitting the Madoff, but it's still really good points.
Gerd setting up that Junod on the Ratcatcheress.
Yep, just what we talked about. And here comes the She Who Knows, though, to boost up the base power of the Ratcatcheress.
Yep, but still damaged, as boosting up the base power will never undamage a unit.
Yep.
Still 2 charges on the Quartermaster here. Now we are on Adrenaline for our Bear Witcher. A couple turns away from Quen. Hjalmar, I believe, has a great sword in the graveyard that was played in round 2, so that's able to just come down
efficient
and
carryover.
remove the Adrenaline and remove the Sabbath. Oh, I'm gonna take the Bear Witcher first. Damage the Noon Wraith. Now, this is a turn that Spyro has Sabbath and will take this opportunity to get the Witch Apprentice down.
I don't think that Witch Apprentice is staying on for really too long. He can still wait. I mean, the Unod is really tempting here. The Ratcatcher is still damaged. It's a really nice Unod to take without really having to set it up much more. So I think that could be kind of tempted for Wangid to take right here. He could also just wait a little bit. We have the Heat Wave as well as the Great Sword, like Trent said. So there's a couple of options to remove that Witch Apprentice later.
Yeah, notably, that was the Corinthia turn, so now Wangid knows that Spyro's probably missing some stuff.
Yeah. Really good point. So let's see if that changes the gameplay that Wangid is going for. Maybe he just feels kind of...
Looks like we're...
I'm confident because...
Bear Witcher.
Here, Richard. And I was just gonna say that the Unod is a really efficient answer for the damaged Koshi coming down, but now Wangid doesn't have to hold on to it.
Sure.
For example.
Now we got a Neuromancy. Is this getting... No, it's getting the Kostya. Okay.
Yeah.
So Kostya, leader to make sure you get that larva before the Kostya gets cleaned up by one of the many answers in Wangid's hand.
Now this, on the other hand, could get answered by Hjalmar Heatwave, pick your poison. Wangid has can't really decide what to pick here, and he does go for the Yalmar.
Yeah. And then we got a 16-point Junod and a pretty large Heat Wave as well, going to be cleaning up probably the Witch's Apprentice. While Spyro's got a Heat Wave that is not quite as exciting, going to kill an 8 on Gerd, and then he just has 2 Crones. He has yet to play the Consume Crones, so these Crones are going to be 8 and then 10 points.
Yeah, the Crones are still very powerful cards, and even if Spyro didn't really find all of his cards here, there's definitely power in the hand, except for maybe the Heat Wave, like you mentioned. But a really nice Unod for Wangid. It's just really great.
Yeah, Wangid perfectly filling his rows. Takes the Junod, is up 22 points, and I don't believe Spyro's hand even has 22 points. It appears Wangid is going to take game number 1 here.
Yep, the Witch Apprentice taken away, still doing solid work. Wangid unfortunately being able to remove it here with a Heat Wave. And there we have it. Game number 1. Heat Wave still coming down. Heat Wave, it's all muted. I like it.
Respectable.
Alright.
So Flurry has gotten through.
Exactly. That means we have Flurry. And we are moving on to game number 2. Of course, the coins will be flipped now. So what do you think, Trident? Anything you suspect either player is going to queue? After this keg opening, of course.
Yeah, what's in the keg first? We got... Ooh,
He didn't choose the Mentor, that's nice.
Taking the only
Good job,
unplayable
Keg.
card in the keg. Interesting.
Aww. Shows the support for the bandits. I like it.
It seems like a mistake to me. But yeah, I want to see the NR Mirror. I want to see the deck that Wangid played yesterday against whatever the deck that Wangid has improved it to be now. Because he made a couple of changes to his deck from yesterday. Spyro looks like he just copied Wangid's list from day 1. But Wangid making some adjustments, adding in Envoy and as well as Kutkadak to have some purifies. Removing some
Kutkadak gonna mirror maybe purifies a Margarita lock, which isn't that bad. Because Spyro on the other side, of course, has the Margarita and no Sentry and Envoy.
Yeah, looks like a bit of a wash. Though you do need to have the Kutkadak when your opponent has the Marg, so I guess the player with the Marg has a slight advantage with that interaction, since the Kotkadak's not really doing anything else.
But the, of course, advantage for Wangid is that if he does draw that Sentry and Envoy that doesn't get removed, you can add a little bit of consistency and maybe find a valuable gold that you...
Yeah, notably, unless Envoy got fixed, it only puts units on top of your deck, so you cannot find your Siege with it, but you can find everything else.
Yeah, good points. Already, there's a lot of high-end cards that are untutorable, such as Viraxis or Enseus and Shawnee. So, you know,
or every other gold in the deck that isn't called Amphibious Assault. They're all untutorable. There are no tutors other than the Talus.
Pretty much, you're right.
What are we gonna see here? Going into game number 2.
Oh, tried it. We're gonna see the mirror.
We got it. This is what I wanted to see.
Yay.
We don't have usernames, but we have the Inspired Zeal Mirror.
Yep. Blue coin, of course, is Spyro, and red coin is Wangid. Is this gonna come down to draws? Is this gonna be like, who draws better? What is it all about? I guess we'll find out very soon.
Yeah, so looking at the hands, there's Amphibious Assault for blue coin, but not for red. No Natalis either.
Yep. Natalis, on the other hand, for Spyro, of course, alongside Enseus, Selkirk, Shawnee. Yeah, all cards that you want to draw eventually.
Oh man, this is gonna be really confusing. We don't have usernames.
I think the coin should just be enough. Spyro is blue coin.
Spyro's blue.
Red
Okay.
coin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Try to remember that.
Okay. So let's see here. Opening with the Carrick City Guard. Getting boiling oiled immediately. Also, the stratagem here is something that Spyro is recognized with. The TA stratagem over the Veil one is quite interesting. Maybe just saying against Nilfgaard, it's a little bit too much if your TA'd unit gets Vincented, so you'd rather have it poisoned, which might be slower in tempo. But it's usually not a stratagem you see for NR.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Radovid's Royal Guard's coming out here for Wangid.
It's like they're in front of a mirror. I really like this boiling oil here coming out from Spyro being able to take down this engine. But now, maybe Sintra and Envoy have the chance at life.
Oh, I want to see this card shine. I want to see him find all of his golds. There's the Natalis.
Well, he found a Natalis.
That gives him access to his amphibious assault guaranteed.
That's quite nice to be able to guarantee that. Okay, we're going boiling oils everywhere on this board, but Spyro still has 13 points. Wangid, on the other hand, hasn't really set up that much, but he has made sure he's going to draw into the amphibious assault with Natalis, which is quite nice. So let's see, does Wangid trade another card here? Looks like he does. The Ballista's out.
Yep, just keeping up the reach. Back over to Spyro. Now, normally you're looking for first play in these matchups, right? Rather than last play?
Yeah.
So is this? Are they worried about the other player pushing on rounds 2? Is that what the concern is? First player to get the siege down just wins?
Exactly, yeah. It's a little bit of a who gets the siege first game. So, being able to have that first state is important. Of course, we don't see a siege in Spyro's hand, so that can be a really determining factor, I think, for this game is, does one of the players not get their siege and the other one does? Because that's a pretty big difference.
For sure. And it does look like Wangid's just going to take the pass and give round control over to Spyro. So... Okay,
so... Spyro here looking to find the siege, of course. Tempting to maybe even... I mean, if you have a really great hand, why not put the siege on the board, put some pressure, say maybe my opponent didn't find their siege and it's worth it to kind of bleed out the juice here. However, Spyro does not find it. He keeps juggling a couple of bronzes here.
No siege.
And, no siege.
Both players with access to their first copy of Amphibious Assault in this round as well. Wangid off of the Natalis and Spyro with it just in his hand.
This is really huge because Spyro fighting for round 1, getting round 1, not being able to utilize first say, while Wangid on the other hand didn't really fight for round 1, gets the first say. If of course Spyro decides not to bleed, he could decide to go for something here. Setting up carryover is important for Shawnee, of course. So we do see the AA come down at least.
Yep, gets the Bandaged Student. As well as just being an engine, does, as you said, get some carryover for the Shawnee. These decks both being Inspired Zeal. Ooh, Wangid just taking the Selkirk now. Clean that up before that can grow at all, minimizing the Shawnee value. But yeah, one of the reasons to play Inspired Zeal with this deck is with the Shawnee res, if you get a big enough Bannered Student, you don't even mind using one of your leader charges on that to get your guaranteed points. It's pretty common that like in round 1 or round 2, you have a Bannered Student that lives all around, has 5 points in the graveyard, and you res it with Shawnee, and being able to guarantee those points with Inspired Zeal. Pretty nice.
Not a bad use of a leader charge at all. So Spyro, of course, here deciding, can he do anything more? It's like, do you give up the round and then see if you find the siege or not? Because if you don't find it, that's really, really, really big for this game.
Yeah, I mean, you got Selkirk and a leader charge for your first Amphibious Assault. I don't think you're that sad about that. You don't have your siege, so it's not like you're really able to take advantage of first play here.
Yep, but you kind of still have to go with the flow here and hope to find that siege. One of these cards guaranteed to be Amphibious Assault, so you have a couple less mulligans to try and hit the jackpot, which is siege.
8 cards in deck, 2 mulls.
Ooh, there it is.
Spyro find. Oh, yep, there it is. Okay, so we've got a game. Both players have siege. Spiro missing Varaxis, Gellert, or Gerhardt.
Alright. Gerhardt did show up to the party here.
Perfect.
Wangid, on the other hand, what is missing from Wangid's hand? Let's take a look. I think that there's everything except for like a Kudak you don't really want.
Not bad, but Wangid with the first play, able to establish his siege first and get engine advantage. Spiro wants to clean up the siege engines before they ping. He will not be able to deploy his sieges quite as quickly. Let's see how Wangid continues here. Could play Royal Guards, or could just play another siege engine, maybe play this reinforced ballista onto the ranged row. Looks like he's
there's a lot of bronzes. Yeah, a lot of bronzes wanting to come down, so here you're saying that Spiro can use a removal on this if he so wants to, rather than spending removals on something like siege engines. So this Banard's kind of safe and can just chill there, gaining... I mean, I know some people call him the Instagram mage because of his beautiful pose there, so he'll be gathering followers, 1 follower per turn on Instagram. So let's see how many you can get.
That's good. That's good. See the Shani come down for Spiro, gets that Karak City Guard, an engine that the movement effect could matter. Puts a little bit of pressure on this Bannard student as well. You don't want it to grow too hard because you end up in a bit of a game of chicken with that movement effect.
Yep. By playing this siege, then you would risk all of your siege engines getting removed, so this Enseus, of course, comes down here to remove a very valuable engine from Wangid's side of the board.
Yep, but there is plenty more where that came from. Does Wangid want to play the bombardment now, though, is the question. He could just play one of his other bronzes here and hold the bombardment to maybe kill an engine. Not really anything engine-y in play at the moment.
The Karak City Guard there is quite nice. If it comes down here just for engine value. Unfortunately, you can't move your own unit back to the range row, but you can move one of Spiro's units, and we do see a Banard student in Spiro's hand too, so that's something that this Karak City Guard might move unless it gets dueled first.
Oh yeah, instant Karak Marine there for Spiro, keeping that Shani safe. He really wants to be getting more value on that later in the round, as we do see Wangid play this reinforced ballista, pull that bombardment out of the siege, and let's see where these pings go.
Nothing has been removed, quite evenly spread there for that bombardment, but Spiro doesn't have anything really valuable to remove. He's made sure of that to kind of eliminate these bombardment values.
Yep, Shani got damaged quite a bit, but gets boosted right back up with that Karak Marine. Spiro making sure to keep Shani safe so she can heal another unit. Gotta protect your medics. Back
that
over
is very
to
important.
Wangid.
Yeah, Wangid's 30. Go ahead.
Still has the AA in the Natalis, as well as this Royal Guard that he wants to get out of his hand eventually.
Yeah, I believe there's another ballista that could be coming down there with the AA? Or was there one played?
I think both ballistas were played. One got answered by the Anses, I think.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
Speaking of Anses comes down, kills that Shani before she can res again. The medic was not kept safe. And then Hubert pops out of deck as well. Wangid looking like he's got a pretty nice point gap here.
Yep, pretty nice point gap and a bit of a late Banard student here as well. He's a little bit late to the party, but Spiro, of course, does have to play it eventually, so does decide to go for that one now. And still holding on to the siege, which is a lot of points. On the other hand, not really able to remove really valuable engines, anything like that, just because it comes down so late. And there are so many units on Wangid's side of the board now.
Yeah, I mean, the siege is a lot of points, but there is only the one siege engine in Spiro's hand, which could be a problem. You're not going to get that bombardment unless, I guess, you, like, Gerhardt teleport your AA unit. Not really what you want to be doing.
Yeah, true. You could.
You could. You could.
You could. You definitely don't want to do it, but you could. We're all for having options.
Yep. Is this the siege turn? Yeah, here it is. Get
Oh, you can
that.
teleport the Treb?
True.
Sure, if
That
you
works.
say the bombardment is worth it, but you don't have that many siege engines online, so
Yeah.
maybe you're going for
You're
another
basically
play.
playing Gellert for bombardment instead of Pact, which probably better a little bit,
I guess
or equal. I guess it's equal.
resurrecting the Marine there with the teleportation is pretty good.
Yeah, but unfortunately,
Teleporting the
Marine's not a siege engine.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, and
But with teleportation. But you wouldn't trigger it, but it would be better than Pact.
would it be? It's 4 or 5 on the damaged
It's
character.
damaged on the damaged one.
Yeah, so it's 5
Oh,
points.
never
You
mind.
get
It
4
is
boosts.
5.
Yeah,
Never mind. Clearly, I can count to 6. That's great to know.
happens to the best of us. Here's the Natalis. Wangid's gonna finally play this amphibious assault. What is this going to pull? Probably just Karak Marine.
It's a
Oh,
ballista.
Ballista.
Trying to get rid of this mage, or at least getting Sparrow to use the order ability before it's out. Of course, the Carrick City Guard could also move it if it so wishes.
Yeah, tight play. Just puts more pressure on this bannered student. We could potentially see... How big is the banner student? Is it only a 2 right now? Is it a 1?
It's at the 2.
2. I was gonna say, maybe we see, like, Gerhardt teleportation after clicking on it for some value. But just a little bit too small there.
Unfortunately, yeah. Okay, and then we can't, of course, see how many leader charges, but yeah.
Yeah, we have identical hands for both players and an almost 20-point gap. So I don't want to call it
This
too
really,
early. It's looking real
it
good
is
for
looking
Wangid.
good. Exactly. Of course, with this kind of goes to demonstrate just how valuable that first day really is for Wangid. It really worked out. Pretty equal hands, I would say, in terms of draws. Of course, no Viraxis for Spiro, but that Viraxis was not worth that many cards. Yeah, teleportation. We did see that.
Yep.
Pretty
Just
cool.
the fact the battering ram got to be the reset, though. That's a lot better.
Yeah. All right, and the Pact here on Wangid's side, playing for 30 points. This one.
Don't think
And-
Selkirk is making this up.
Selkirk does have a powerful duel, though. Not bad, not a bad performance, but unfortunately not enough. So that means Wangid does take it here. The mirror that you wanted to see. How do you feel?
I'm pretty happy. Spiro yoinked the deck and then lost the mirror. I mean, if anything, it's like Wangid got rewarded for building the deck, right? That feels pretty good. Don't copy
true.
people's homework, chat.
Okay, and there you go. Oh, shoot.
Oh, 2 kegs!
Ooh. You have to pick the preview. Yes, you picked the preview. Good job.
Armored Arrakis.
Alright then. It is. It is a cool one.
So, Wang's decision made for him here, only imprisonment left. Spiro still got to get through all of his decks. He should be on red coin this game, though, so I would expect to see the Force of Nature queued up.
The Force of Nature is quite nice on red coin against Nilfgaard because you can drop a She Who Knows after your opponent passes. It can get a little bit awkward just because Wangid has such efficient tools to deal with something like She Who Knows. The most devastating thing Wangid could do is invocate it and then play with Joachim or something.
Yeah.
So being on red coin is definitely nice that you can kind of just drop it, sneak it through, and move on to round 2 where you hopefully can bleed Nilfgaard. That is very important for Spiro to do in this matchup.
Yeah, not only does Force of Nature generally want to be on red coin, but in this matchup especially, the matchup it feels real bad to play this matchup on blue coin when you can't proactively play your She Who Knows. Let's see what these players find. 1 Blightmaker in hand for Wangid.
Mulliganing away an Aristocrat, and 1 more Mulligan left. Spiro, on the other hand, has found Caranthir, one piece of the duo. Koshi, still yet to be found there. Maybe Spiro will find it in this game, however.
Yup, Spyro just leading on Andrega Larva here, building up a board, has 2 Witch Apprentices that can come down once that Sabbath is achieved to help take control of round 1. I wonder what the plan here is going to be for Wangid, whether he's looking for a tempo pass maybe, or if he's trying to get round control. Does decide to lead on Informant there, copying the Andrega Larva.
It's a really nice copy for Nilfgaard. Another really great copy that you can go for is those Witch Apprentices. Doragary coming down here, lock in the engine, put him in chains. There we go, poor Nausicaa Sergeant, and not allowed to grow anymore.
Yeah, and as you said, Wangid making sure to play everything on the melee row so he has the ability to copy a Sabbath Witch Apprentice whenever that comes up. Potentially we could see even like leader charge coup to yoink it if he doesn't want to commit the Brothans.
Yeah, so that's also a play that you can go for. Of course, these locks are, you have to make sure you have your answers for Koshi, but Nilfgaard, of course, kind of known to manipulate your opponent's cards, so there should be plenty of answers here for Wangid in terms of removal.
Mage Assassin on the top of deck, making this Blightmaker thinning even more valuable than usual when you know that you're going to be playing a Mage Assassin. Wangid notably making sure that he's playing with half premiums and half non-premiums. Wait, they're all showing with premium here. Maybe it was just the one screen.
Yeah, sometimes yeah.
I was going to say, it lets you know which one you're pulling out of the deck with the Blightmaker, so if you see one on top of the deck and it's the premium one, you want to pull that with the Blightmaker. I'm surprised that he's not doing that, if he's not doing that, actually. Yeah, it does appear that they're both premium.
It does appear, so the Mage Assassins were both premiums there.
Witch Apprentice coming down for Spyro. Right. No Sabbath here, but there is Sabbath for Wangid. Let's see if he wants to copy this.
Yeah, Brothans is a little bit committal, but then again, is it in terms of having to win this round against Koshi? Maybe it's worth it.
He's going for it. There's the Brothans, there's the Informant, there is Piggy.
And there it is. It's interesting to see it ticking for Nilfgaard, but not monsters on the other hand. I think what Spyro really wants to do now is still make sure he's in it, he's in the game, and potentially has reach with a She Who Knows to slap that in there. So Spyro will definitely keep on playing as long as he has the reach.
Yeah, I think what Spyro is most concerned with right now is making sure that he plays enough tempo to not be getting tempo passed. Here's the Gancane coming down. Goes up to 7, triggers the Larvas, 29-39, keeping the reach available with the She Who Knows. As we go back over to Wangid, who is going for the leader charge, and I imagine Ku to finish that off and getting another Witch Apprentice of his own.
Really great Ku. So now it's 2 Witch Apprentices versus 0 Witch Apprentices, unless one were to come down from Spyro. Again, Blightmaker still offers a really nice non-committal tempo play for Wangid to go for. Other than that, Vincent and Invo and the golds are something you might not really want to spend yet, but here we go.
Yeah, this is rough. Spyro just has to pass. You can't even get down the She Who Knows on red coin.
Yeah. No She Who Knows, no Invo yet, and no Joachim yet. You gotta feel a little bit scared if you are Spyro and you haven't seen that.
Yeah. Like, it was definitely... Wangid definitely committed stuff into round 1 there, but now he has round control. Still has his Blightmakers.
Yeah. This round control is just so huge in this game because Wangid can take it to the long road that Nilfgaard, of course, really, really enjoys. And not only as Spyro do you have the Koshis that will break your own row, but you're playing as Nilfgaard, who plays a ton of spies that will also block your row. So I don't think Koshi is something you really, at least not a Caranthier one, they want to go for in this long round.
Yeah, I'd say this is looking real bad for Spyro here. Can't even get She Who Knows carryover. Once again, just a She Who Knows in round 3. Looking sad.
I'm a little bit, I guess you do have enough Purifies that you can just go ahead and thin here with this boost. You have the Aguara still, and I believe we haven't seen the Caretaker either. So Spyro does have enough of those Purifies to try and keep the Nilfgaardian poisoned units at bay. And of course, a lot of powerful units still to go ahead and go for round 3. Of course, we're not going to see the Koshi, the Caranthier Koshi, because it just row caps.
Yep. So Joachim, Ku, Roderick, potentially Vigo is a spy.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of
There's
stuff
a lot of spies.
to attack the rows. Not only does this Koshcha deck tend to overswarm on its own, but Wangid also going to be having some stuff to say about that.
And really finding all of his resources, Wangid is quite happy to see all of that. Larva coming out here from Sparrow. We're showing the deck there, so get to see what Sparrow actually is missing still. What can be tutored with an Airmancy.
Mm-hmm. So, Spiro leading with his Andrega Larvas as... Oh, is it just the Spectator looking at the deck? Yeah, Spectator looking at the graveyard. Okay. Thinking about Leader Charge? Or was that... No, that was just Spectator being weird. Okay. So there we go. We got Poison coming down on that Andrega Larva. We got the other Fangs to complete it. No rush on trying to roll the Vigo.
Nope. Can keep that Vigo there. Of course, you want to get some assimilate value on it, perhaps. So, before you play the ball, maybe you want to see the Vigo come down.
Yep. Here's a Neuromancy. Getting Caretaker to purify the larva. Really valuing these larvas. So not going to have access...
Really strong.
Yeah, not going to have access to Koshcha off of that Neuromancy. He's not going to play any copies of it.
No, I think what Spiro is aiming for instead is trying to get the Sabbath up and then hopefully go for double Witch Apprentice engine. Those are still really strong unless they get tampered with, which Nilfgaard again has a couple of options to choose from and how to deal with engines.
Indeed, indeed.
Right.
Here's the Masquerade Ball coming down for Wangid.
Really nice heat wave from Spiro. Coming down instead, saying no ball for you and no more poisons. Now, if Wangid does want to get a poison, he needs to kind of roll it off of Vigo, or maybe the Fang sets up whatever Nilfgaard is going to be having for an evening snack today.
Yeah, again, 8 bronze units in Wangid's list here. So the Vigo, not super likely to find the Fangs of the Empire, but it does add a potential hit to what might otherwise be a sketchy roll. But I'm pretty sure that's primarily going to be looking for Emissary or Duchess's Informant. Though at this point, filling the rows not quite as relevant, with no Koshcha is going to be played.
Yeah, of course Wangid doesn't know about the no Koshi just yet, but...
Of course.
But that's a good point. Also, this Caretaker coming in clutch, being able to purify a potential Joachim target there. So maybe Sparrow will just make sure he hits the right Purify and holds onto that Caretaker order. So that Wangid can't sneak something in between.
Yep. You do see the Usurper come down for Wangid a little bit early. A lot of the time, you might consider using Usurper as a way to clog the board of the opponent, but here, choosing it because he's got a bunch of agents that he wants to deploy and just get that extra engine value.
I'm wondering if this Blightmaker could be going for a poison. No, I guess it doesn't have the option to put a special on top. Yeah, but, yeah.
Yep. Just pull.
It would be pretty fun.
Manages to hit non-armor.
Wow.
That's what you want to see. I don't think he needed the Q on the Roderick. I don't think he was missing anything there.
Nope, but Q on the Joachim.
Yep.
If the Caretaker snipes a Purify there, we'll see. But yeah, the Roderick was not needed.
As we go back over to Spiro, 21 to 35. Witch Apprentice will be Sabbath this turn. Bit of the downside of hitting the Roderick instead of one of the melee row units.
Yeah, and I think you want to Caranthier the Witch Apprentice too, perhaps,
Probably.
unless you just give Wangid great coup, or is the coup going on the... Either way, Wangid gets a great coup here, so yeah, maybe you're wanting to Caranthier, meaning you need a little bit more Sabbath before you can go for that play.
Yeah, the coup is concerning. The Witch Apprentice does come down as a 3, Wangid not even needing to use his leader charge to set that up. Does look like that's what he's going for.
Oh, it is, yeah. There we go.
Yep. There's the
This
Apprentice.
is quite telling for Wangid as well, in terms of knowing that, oh, maybe there's no Koshi.
Yeah, Wangid is thrilled to see this. Not only does he have great answers to Witch Apprentices, but this means the most powerful combo in Spyro's deck just not available to him.
Here comes the Witch Apprentice, and
Yoink.
starting to tick away. It really got yoinked.
My Apprentice now.
I would say.
42-25. Aguara's going to lock that so that it stops growing, but the damage has been done.
Of course, Spyro has another apprentice that needs to be answered by something. It could be the lock, I guess.
There's still the Caretaker, so if you do lock it, you want to answer the Caretaker same turn, but I don't think there's anything that says that he can't invo this Caretaker, aside from...
Yeah.
I guess if he invos the Caretaker, he Yoakim's into it, so he can unlock his Witch Apprentice. Yeah, that's just good.
There we go. Alright, no, it's getting poisoned instead. Anvo may be waiting to hit something more valuable. I guess the She Who Knows?
He might know the order of his deck and knows what Yoakim's gonna pull and he wants it.
Yeah. Dead Man's Tongue shows you that order.
Indeed.
Alright.
Very useful bug.
For sure. Vincent taking care of the Caretaker.
Yep, and knowing
role
there's
has
no
been
Koshka coming,
reversed.
Wang is just going to take this lock on the Witch Apprentice. Right? Just double checking everything.
Yeah, I think so. I
Bouncing
don't
over
know
it.
what else you would put it on.
Yeah,
Maybe you're trying to...
You might have just been looking at decklists to confirm that he wasn't going to get a better target. In these tournaments, the decklists are open. Players are able to consult them at any time to make sure that they're not forgetting about anything. To make the best plays possible, and we get to see the highest quality Gwent gameplay. Is the
Okay,
Vigo?
we're seeing Vigo coming down here. Could have hit a Fang. Can hit the Van Morlehem Hunter. I guess that is the best pull here. Unless you have poison on top? With the... No, I believe we saw the Fags.
Yeah,
Wangid
looks
knows, we don't really know, but it is the Morlehem Hunter.
That is certainly a Vigo. I guess it wasn't even that bad. It triggered Thirsty Dame, it triggered 2 Assimilates.
Yeah. Now, nice Relics
itself.
Pocket coming in here from Spyro. Like, despite not having the Koshis, this deck still has points. Leader Charge hasn't been used. Really playing around this invocation for as long as he could, which is quite nice. Of course, the She Who Knows does have to come down here. But we are triggering the Larva Thrives. No wonder Spyro was valuing these. They ended up playing for a lot of points.
Yep, but this
Unfortunately,
Invo
not
plays for
enough.
10 on the She Who Knows, and it looks like Wangid takes the game, takes the series, and secures his spot in Gwent Open
That's-
number 3.
Right. Wow. Congratulations to Wangid for playing really well here, making sure to go through to open number 3. We have our 2 players are decided. They have 2 more players have qualified now for the open, which is really exciting. What did you think about today's games, Trinit?
I had a lot of fun watching these series.
Yeah.
Saw some great games, for sure.
I really do like it. And this series, of course, Wangid really queuing quite nicely here. Also, Spyro missing out on a little bit there. And something like the Mirror, the first day not really working out for the NR deck. Koshi as well on Red Coin didn't go maybe as planned. And yeah, but still a really, really nice show, I think, that we got to watch. And an intense weekend for all the players.
Yeah, so I think we're not going to be cutting to an interview, as Wangid does not... Yeah, he doesn't want to have an English conversation?
Yes.
Okay,
So
so
they-
I guess that's gonna wrap this up, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
Time to wrap it up.
yeah. Congratulations to Trutsky and Wangid, the 2 qualifiers from Gwent Open number 3. It was great to have you here, Cceely. Is there anything that you want to plug before we head off?
Well, thank you so much for having me here. I stream on Twitch, Cceely with 2 C's. If you want to watch any of my streams, also do YouTube deck guides every now and then. It's quite a lot of fun. And other than that, I think I want to give a shout out again to the man behind the scenes, Snake from Claymore, of course, doing awesome work here, and also huge shout out to CD Project Red for this opportunity and all of these amazing tournaments that we keep on getting. It keeps the Gwent community engaged and very happy. So huge shout out to everyone there. And of course, Trinet, thank you so much for casting these games with me and for hosting this on your channel and everything. It was really great.
Yeah, no problem. It was a lot of fun. I was happy to have the opportunity to do so. Again, yeah, shout outs to Snake, shout outs to CDPR. This was a great few games we got to cast. But yeah, that's going to be it for us today. Let's I guess let's host Crozier. I can't imagine Spear is going to be staying online much longer. Yeah, let's send it over to Crozier. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Cool. Thank you.